Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another Microformer class. Today we are going to focus on the core. Workout's going to be about 30-ish minutes. Option to use a light set of hand weights if you like. And let's get things going. One weight spring, or you could do one black spring if you're craving a little bit more support on the machine. So one white is going to make things a little harder. One black, a little bit more manageable. Let's go ahead and lie down to get things going here. So we're going to have a seat at the front edge of your platform. Go ahead and lie down on your back on top of the machine. You can kind of slide the carriage out so that your head is comfortable. And if you'd prefer to do this beginning sequence lying down on the floor beside your machine, that's also a great option. From here, take your hands and place them onto your rib cage. And you can just soften your gaze or close your eyes here. We're going to take a nice big inhale into your nose, breathe wide into your ribs beneath your palms, relax all the way down to your pelvic floor. And you're going to exhale out through the mouth, kind of like you're blowing out a birthday candle slowly on the ceiling. So again, big inhale. Exhale, slowly blow out that birthday candle. Keep going. So on the inhale, we're expanding wide into the rib cage, relaxing all the way down to your pelvic floor. And then on the exhale, think about drawing up from the pelvic floor, zipping up from your pubic bone to your belly button, and then your ribs are gently moving together and down. So again, inhale into the nose, wide into the ribs, relax your pelvic floor. Exhale out through the mouth like you're blowing out that birthday candle, drawing up from the floor of the pelvis, zippering up low abs, ribs gently move together and down. Let's do that one more time, just focusing in on the breath. Good. So let's keep that style of breath going throughout class. It's going to help us tap into our deep core muscles as well as the pelvic floor. Let's bring our hands a little bit lower down onto your pelvis and just check in. Does your low back feel like it's nice and neutral? So it's not arching or pressing firmly down into the carriage. It feels like the bowl of your pelvis, if your hands are kind of rested on top of your pelvis, like a little diamond shape like that, pelvic bowl is nice and flat. So let's take a breath in. Exhale, draw up from the pelvic floor, engage low abs, ribs together and down. We're going to lift one knee up to tabletop. And then inhale, set that foot down to the floor. And then again, start the exhale first and then float your other knee up to tabletop. Inhale as you lower. So I'm going to keep going here with these little marches. Neutral through your spine. And connecting your breath to the movement to get your deep core muscles and your pelvic floor to fire. So the start of that exhale, drawing up from the pelvic floor, zippering up through the low abs, and then the knee is lifting. As you lower down, inhale and slow yourself down in the opposite direction. So sometimes we really focus on the squeeze of the low abs as we lift. I want you to focus on controlling the low abs as you lower as well. Notice if you're tensing through the head, neck, and shoulders. Really keep the emphasis in the core. Let's go ahead and hit probably just about one more on each side. Good. Once you finish that last one, set your foot down. Interlace your fingertips behind your head. Let your elbows fall out wide, open across the chest. Inhale wide into the ribs. Relax your pelvic floor. Exhale, drawing up from the pelvic floor. You're going to curl head, neck, and shoulders off the carriage and take your eye gaze up over the tops of the thighs. Pause at the top. Look down at your abdomen and just notice if your abdominal muscles are rising up. Okay, that's problematic. Lower back down. What we want to do as we exhale and curl up, we want to draw the abdominal muscles in, not like you're sucking in, but that your abdominal muscles are hugging in towards you as you curl forward. And then lower back down. Keep going here. So again, these curls can be on top of the machine. They can be on the floor. Pause at the top of that crunch. Good. Lower down with control. And I'm just kind of checking myself on my own abdomen because I have just a little bit of ab separation left over from having a baby. So what I'm checking for is that as I'm curling up, I'm getting that deep connection to my core muscles and I'm getting my transverse to fire, because when it fires and I curl and lift my head, I don't feel any ab separation. But if I curl and lift my head without firing deep into my core muscles, I can feel like one finger width of ab separation there. So if you have had a baby or for whatever reason have a little bit of separation going on in your abs, you want to make sure when you curl, you're not increasing that separation. And for everybody else who has no ab separation, you want to make sure those muscles aren't pressing out as you curl. It's really important. On this next one, we're going to curl and lift up and we're going to hold. So find your highest point, flex through the abdomen. You're going to be a tiny curl forward, tiny curl forward, tiny curl forward. Keep going. These little tiny curls forward. You're working right at the top of your range. It's really small. You've got a little bit of space between your chin and your chest. Tiny curl, tiny curl, tiny curl. Good. Keep going. You've got about 15 seconds here. I'm not going to do this part with you because I know it's going to overstress what I've got going on in my abs. You've got 10 seconds. Keep it going. Tiny curl. Let's get it for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, 1. Lower your head down and then right away float your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. Exhale, connect to your core. Lift one knee up to tabletop. Match with the other knee. So ideally shins parallel to the ceiling. But if you feel sticky in your low back or your hip flexors, your feet are going to lift a little bit higher than your knees where you can see them. From here, we've got a little dead bug. We're going to breathe in. As you exhale, engage your core. You're going to extend one leg out as the opposite arm lifts overhead. Inhale as you come back up through center. Exhale to the other side. Good. Inhale as you lift. So opposite arm and leg extending out away from center. As they do so, really important, right? Check in from time to time with your abs and just make sure they're not lifting towards the ceiling as you extend your limbs away from center. That's really problematic. Okay, if that's happening, it means you need to make the range of motion smaller. You need to work a little higher. You want to work where you can manage the pressure in your core. It's really important. And I know I'm kind of harping on this, but it's really important. So yeah, keep going. Let's give this just one more on each side. Come back through center. Lower your feet back down to the floor. From here, this is where if you've got light weights that you want to use, pick them up, extend your arms up towards the ceiling. From here, let's plant the soles of the feet hip width apart, parallel. Breathe in. Exhale, lift your hips up and hold. Good. From there, we're going to go ahead and get into a little hamstring curl with a skull crusher. So extending out. And then as you bring yourself back into that bridge, arms extend up towards the ceiling. So as you lengthen out into your hamstring curl, elbows bend, elbows are stacked right over the shoulders, and then squeeze the triceps, hug the carriage back in. Good. Keep going. So if you notice that you're feeling tension in your low back or your hips are having trouble staying lifted, then I would suggest ditching the weights. Bring your hands to your hip creases. You can kind of prop your arms underneath you and then just focus on the hamstring curl for today. So there's always going to be a way to make things in our workouts more or less intense based on what you need at any given moment. Good. Keep going here. Right? So we could be working with or without that skull crusher. You've got 10 seconds here. Bring the carriage back in, hold. Let's everybody bring your hands to your hips. So ditch the weights if you have them, just so we can stabilize the hip creases. Inhale. Exhale, engage your low abs. Lift one knee up to tabletop. Inhale as you set that foot down. Exhale, again, engage the low abs, float one knee to tabletop. Inhale as you lower. So hands to the hip creases. This can give you a little bit of support, but also we're just really checking in that we're not sinking through one hip as we do these marches here. So our focus today, it's a full body workout focused on the core. Okay, so that means we're really going to aim to emphasize the core in every exercise, whether we're working the upper body or the lower body. And the best way to access your core is your breath. Okay, the stronger the exhales are, the more you mindfully connect to your core muscles with each and every breath, the more you're going to get out of this in every class that you do, right? So a style of breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, is super helpful to our workouts. It also can just help you kind of almost like get into this meditative state as you're doing the workout. So it helps you stay in things a little bit longer too, right? Taking these slow, targeted, purposeful breaths. Let's go last one here, side to side. When you're even on both sides, plant both of your feet down firmly, lift your hips, squeeze your glutes, slide the carriage out just like an inch or two so you feel that firing in the hamstrings. And then from here, just lower your hips down an inch, up an inch. Option to float your arms back up towards the ceiling. Option to grab those hand weights again. And we're just moving the hips down and up an inch. Drive through your heels. Option to bend your knee or your arms to 90 degrees and add a little pulse up. Okay, so a little bit more for the triceps. Imagine you've got like a small squishy ball between your thighs. So a little active hug in through the inner thighs. Dig down through the heels, squeeze right at the base of the glutes. Find the smile line on each of your cheeks and squeeze lift. Good, if the backs of the arms are engaged as well, let's get it. Active squeeze, active flex. Everything is done with control. Let's go for 10, 9, 8. We're going standing inner thighs. We'll go right foot on your front platform, left foot on your carriage in 4, in 3, 2, 1. Gently lower down, bring the carriage to a close. Support yourself to come all the way up to standing. You can take the weights with you. So right foot front platform, left foot carriage. Really, you can face whatever way you want. As soon as you're ready, pinkies start together. Body weight's even in both legs. Soften your knees, strong through the core. We're going to get into a little half moon as we send the carriage out, reaching thumbs up and together. And then squeeze through the inner thighs. Go pinkies together on the way in. Good. Tall posture. And inner thigh work, so related to the core. So feel, right, into the lowest part of the abdomen, feel into your inner thighs, feel the control and the connection between the two. And anytime we're extending our limbs, like our arms, out away from center, we're getting more work into the core, more instability, more challenge, especially when we pick up our weights, right? So you could do this exact same motion with just your arms and you're gonna get more core work. Don't know about y'all, but my inner thighs are already shaking. Could be because I haven't done this in a minute. Could be because I've been like nursing this cold. I finally feel better, but you can probably hear it in my voice. And I swear, I think I haven't worked out in like 2 weeks. Yeah, it was real sick. Maybe some of y'all have had what I had. It's like coughing, waking me up in the middle of the night. It literally feels like you're like choking to death. Fortunately, I'm alive. Good. It's just that time of year. It's just that lovely time of year where everyone's getting sick. Okay, that shake is getting more tremendous, so I think we're gonna take it out. Arms out in a T, strong straight arms. We're gonna slide the carriage in an inch, out an inch, equally work through both legs. You're not gonna do this again on the other side. This is even through both legs. You got 10 seconds. We're gonna get into a standing left leg lift. Hands to your high handlebars, right foot planted, left leg lifted. Just like it sounds. In 3, 2, 1, bring the carriage in. Okay, ditch your weights. Bring both feet onto your carriage, hands to your high handlebars. Plant your right foot at about center, soften your right knee, and then extend your left leg straight out behind you. So think about this like some standing bungee work. You don't have the bungee on your leg, you could have an ankle weight on. Soften your right knee, square off your hips to the floor, wrap and engage through the core, ton of core work, shoulders slide down and back. Point your left toes, and then you're gonna lower that leg down towards the floor, squeeze your glute, lift up. So full range of motion initially, strong through your core. So you don't want to feel any movement in your low back. Imagine you're balancing a glass of liquid on your low back. Grip the front of your thigh, squeeze the hamstring and glute. The whole leg is really working here. Big range of motion. Stabilize your low back. Lift the left leg up here and hold. Point your toes, straighten the leg, and trace a little like dime-sized circle behind you. So with the point of your big toe on that left foot, little trace of a circle. Stabilize the rest of the body. Keep going same direction for 4, 3, 2. Reverse the direction of that circle on 1. So reverse it. Go the other way. Small and controlled. Ton of core work here if you're engaging properly. Here's 4. We're not done. Don't set that leg down. 3, 2. Hold that leg lifted from here. Take your left leg out to the left a few inches and then bring it back through center and slide it across the midline of your body. So kind of this little windshield wiper of the leg side to side. Everything else stays perfectly stable. That's how you get the core work. Okay, by stabilizing the core, stabilizing the rest of the body. Oh, you're tracing the smile line on that left glute. Should be feeling this. This is our second to last variation. Stay with me. If you haven't dropped that leg, you ain't doing it now. And if you have dropped that leg, get back into it and let's finish it out together. Let's bring that leg straight out behind you from your hip. Just pulse up, squeeze, strong straight leg, recommit to the core. Let's get it, y'all. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7. We're going elevator lunge. Left foot to your platform in 5. Meet me at the bottom of your lunge in 3, 2, 1. Left foot steps forward. Bottom of your lunge. Start it off. So you can adjust that right foot as needed, but drop it down low, okay? Here's where we start. Find some place stable for the left heel. It doesn't matter if the toes hang off the edge of the platform. Get strong through your core. Let's lift it up nice and slow. 2. Ooh, nice and slow. 3. Nice and slow. 4. Take it on down. So find your lunge here. Option to float the arms forward as you drop it down. Good. Big push through left heel. Squeeze left glute and hamstring to draw you to the top. Good. Keep going, y'all. You want to find a little hinge forward from the hips as you lower into this lunge. That's just going to help keep the low back happy. So if you watch me when I do this, I'm hinging forward as I lower down. So there's this nice long line for the crown of my head through my back heel. Brings a little more weight into this left leg. It also keeps the lower back neutral. Good. On this next lunge, we're going to bring it down and we're going to hold. I'm going to actually grab my pole for this. Feel free to hang on to a wall, those rails, whatever you want. What we're going to do is a little bit of this split stretch. So we're in our lunge. We're going to straighten our left leg. So you're pushing away from that platform, and then you're going to bend the left knee, pulling in. You can soften your back knee a bit. You're going to push away from the platform with the left leg, and then bend the left knee, pull in. So it's this little bit of this split stretch stance. You don't see this in this direction very often. You typically see it in escalator lunge. But this is a Pilates move. It's called a little split stretch. Although it's kind of like not really much stretching, it really is hard. Good. Next time that knee bends, bring it in and hold. We're going carriage kicks. So we're going to slide the right knee in underneath your right hip and then slide the right leg out long. Left leg is stable. Maybe you can drop down a little lower. Slide the back knee in. Slowly back out. Stay low, stay focused. Check in, left knee right over the heel. Push down through that left heel. Great job, y'all. We're gonna go 15 seconds. You've got teaser for your left oblique on deck. Let's get it. You've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carriage comes in, hands to your high handlebars. Step your right foot back so your left heel can tuck in front of your right toes. Square your chest towards the front of the machine. Legs are gonna extend out to straight. And then pike your left hip up over your left shoulder. The carriage slides in, but not all the way. And then slowly go back out. So inhale as you lengthen out into that twisted pike. Exhale as you pike and lift through the waistline. Okay, so think about teaser just like a twisted plank to pike. You're folding in half at the waistline. In particular, this is your left oblique working. And then for my challengers, right, this little bit of advancement here, don't bring the carriage in so far. So experiment, play around with bringing it in like half as far as you have been. It's gonna get a lot harder. Good, we've got one variation to go here. And then we're coming down to the knees, down to the forearms. We've got a kneeling twisted crunch next. Let's bring the carriage in halfway, hold it right there where you feel that left oblique. Slide it out an inch, in an inch, 10 seconds. Come down to your knees, come down to your forearms. Twisted kneeling crunch in 4, in 3, 2, 1. Down to the knees, down to the forearms. Left oblique still slightly facing the floor. Breathe in. Exhale, crunch. Slide the carriage in. Inhale as you slide back out. Exhale again, you're folding in half at your left oblique. Press your inner thighs together. And you don't want to swivel the hips so much so that you're feeling this in your low back. Good, so keep going here. Those of you who want a little bit of an advancement, try to bring your shoulders slightly behind your elbows and keep them there. Okay, that's gonna make this a little bit harder, and I'll show you what that looks like. So shoulders are now behind your elbows, and then you keep going with that twisted crunch here. Good. Let's bring it in, halfway point, find that little hold, little pulses here for 10 seconds. We're coming back to the top of our sequence, hands on the high handlebars. We're gonna go right leg extended. We've got those straight leg kicks in 4, in 3, in 2, 1. Walk your hands up to the high handlebars. Plant your left foot at the center of the carriage. Extend your right leg back strong and straight. Point your right toes. Level off your hips. So square your hips to the floor. Soften your standing knee. Core is strong. And then start that full range. You're lowering the right leg down. Squeeze the right glute, lift up. So by doing this leg lift here, rather than using your bungee and in a standing position, you're going to get more work into your standing leg because our left glute is stabilizing in this standing position. And you're getting, I would say, a little extra core work than if you were down in the bungee because you're a little more supported when you're down in tabletop. Good. That being said, that's also a really good way to modify, right? So if I needed to modify this exercise, this was feeling like it wasn't working for me, I would come down to tabletop and you could do the exact same lift and lower. Notice how the leg lift and lower gets a little smaller. Good. On this next one, lift your right leg up, hold strong and straight, re-soften through your standing knee, recommit to your core. Find that tiny dime-sized circle in one direction. And try to make that circle come from the strength at the base of your glute. Shoulders slide away from your ears. Turn your head gently, right, left, neck is long. Reverse direction of that circle. Try to keep the leg lifted nice and high as you do this. Oh, so hard. Stay with it for 4, for 3. Keep the leg lifted. 2, 1. Keep the leg lifted. Slide your right leg out to the right a few inches. Back through center and across the midline of your body. Okay, I'm staying in this one with you. Normally I take like a million breaks to just chat at you, but I'm doing it with you. I'm in it. We're in it together. Stay, stay, stay. Breathe. Focus in on the strength of your core. See if you can lift that leg a little bit higher so it's straight out from your hip. Try not to let it sink down. Draw that leg straight out behind you. Last variation, little pulse up. Little tiny lift. Squeeze right where your hamstring needs to go. Smiling on that right cheek. You're lifting from there. The leg gets straighter. Grip your quad. Let's go. You're here for 10. We're going elevator lunge. Right foot forward in 5, in 4, in 3, 2, 1. Right foot forward. Meet me at the bottom of your lunge. Right foot's forward. Left foot's back. Find the bottom of your lunge. Get light in your fingertips. Strong in your core. Lift up slow. So option to add arms here, right? Always going to get you a little more core, regardless of whether or not you're hanging on to weights. Everyone's finding a little hinge forward from their hips as you lower into the lunge, and then you get a little bit taller as you lift up. So we want to keep ourselves hinged forward the whole time. Find your focus. Find your depth in these lunges. We've got just a couple minutes left in class, so we're nearly there, y'all. Slow yourself down. That's the best way to increase the effectiveness. We're going to come down into this next lunge. We're going to hold. I'm just going to grab my balancing tool. Soften your back knee, okay? So we're going to go into that little split stretch here. We're going to straighten-ish through the right leg. Bend the right knee, bring it back in. So I say straighten-ish because you don't want to lock out the right knee. Okay, so we're bending that knee. We're stopping when the knee is over the heel. And then we're pushing back into that little split stretch. And this can get a little grippy in this back hip flexor. So if that's the case, soften your back knee. Good, this requires a ton of control. Nice work, y'all. Stay with me. Try to keep the hips nice and level, nice and square. Next time the right knee bends over the heel, let's go into those carriage kicks. Freeze your right leg. Left knee is sliding in underneath the left hip. Back out. So if you can, drop it down a little bit lower, right? Don't be afraid to get nice and low here. This is the finisher for a leg exercise. You've got teaser on deck. Oh, get a little lower. Get a little lower. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Don't save it for later. 10 seconds. Hands to your high handlebars. Right foot will slide in front of your left. In 5, in 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands to high handlebars. So I like to bring the carriage in. I slide my left foot out of the way, step my right heel in front of my left toes, and then slide out into this twisted plank. So my toes are angled towards my left shoulder. Inhale. Exhale as you pike, drawing the right hip over the right shoulder. Inhale as you lengthen back out. Good. Exhale as you pike. So remember, the more space you leave between the carriage and the platform, the more intense this is going to be, right? That being said, if you feel like you need a little breather, bring the carriage in a little bit further, lessen the intensity in oblique, and then slide back out. Okay, there's always going to be some way you can make this workout work for you, okay? I'm dealing with my own postpartum body issues in terms of having a little bit of ab separation, right? Maybe my strength still isn't quite what it was before, and I'm making it work for me. Okay, so that means my workouts look a little bit different right now than they used to, and they're going to keep looking different for my whole life. Really want you to think about that. You want to be able to move your body well your whole life. That means your workouts are going to have to evolve. Let's bring it in halfway. Hold. You're going to go out an inch, in an inch. Squeeze that right oblique. 10 seconds. We're down to the knees, down to the forearms. Twisted kneeling crunch in 3, 2, 1. Down to the knees, down to the forearms. Your right oblique is still slightly facing the floor. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you pike through the right side waist. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, squeeze the right oblique, bring it in. So remember, your advanced option, your shoulders shift slightly behind your elbows, and then you keep going with that twisted crunch. Press your inner thighs together. Okay, we are nearly there. Our finisher is on deck. Oh, okay. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. We're gonna be fine. We got this. Let's keep this up for about 5 more seconds. So we've got those little pulses. We're gonna finish off in a plank. Your best plank, whatever that looks like. Forearms, hands, knees, toes. But first, pulse this little crunch. Bring it in halfway, hold. Give me that little in an inch, out an inch, 10 seconds. I'm going hands and toes for this plank. And I'm gonna give you an option to add in some movement in 4, in 3, 2, and 1. Find your plank. Whew, strong through the core. Okay, so if you chose a plank up on your toes, your option, stabilize through one foot, tap the other foot down to the floor. Come back through center, other foot down to the floor. Stabilize the hips, stabilize the core. You're balancing a glass of liquid on your lower back. Strong through the obliques, strong through the waistline. If you are on the knees, okay, this kneeling plank, see if maybe you can float one hand off of the platform. Try to stabilize, float. I can't do that in this kneeling plank, but I could do this in tabletop, which is another form of plank. Okay, so you're marching, hands or feet, or you're just holding. Okay, this is it. Finish strong, finish how you want to feel. You worked so hard to get here. I know you're not going to give out on yourself when you've got 10 seconds. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Child's pose. Sit your hips to your heels. Stretch it back. Oh, take a deep breath in. Full breath all the way out. Let's do that one more time. Big inhale. Full exhale all the way. Good. From here, let's just come up onto all fours. So you can be on the floor on top of the machine. Find tabletop. We're going to bring our left arm and reach it up towards the ceiling. So open through the chest. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, you're just going to get a little thread the needle. Bringing left ear, left shoulder to the mat. Pause. Good. And then push down through the right hand. Breathe in, reach the left arm high. Breath out, lower the left palm down. And then same thing other side. Breathe in, float your right fingertips up. And then exhale, thread the needle. Right ear, right shoulder to the mat. Just land. And then push down through the left hand. Breathe the right arm up and high. Exhale, find tabletop. And then find a comfortable seat. So maybe you sit down cross-legged. Maybe you prefer to stand up, but let's seal in all of that hard work together. So when you're ready, face me. Inhale, circle sweep, reach the arms up. Palms touch overhead. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart. One more time, deep breath in all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Awesome job. Thank you so much for being here. Have an incredible rest of your day, wherever you're off to, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you again soon.